Well, I just found a brand new way to make videos on my computer, so that's exciting. I've been using one way forever, and that suddenly quit working, and it was like in 5 minutes I had a brand new way. It's still going to be just as low a quality though, so sorry. Hi, my name's Michelle Marusek. You can call me Mick. I'll be your professor for this class, and I wanted to make an introduction video, one, so you could see my face and get to know me a little bit, but also just tell you some really important highlights about this class. In Advanced Studio Techniques, you're going to need 3 strobes. Each of those strobes has to have an output of at least 320 watts per second. There's good reason for this. You can't really overpower the sun without at least 320 watts per second. And in your career, and you can trust the voice of experience here, you're going to want to be able to do that. I have an arsenal of lights, 3 of which are 500 watts per second, and then I think I have 5 more that are less than that. You just start collecting them. Anyways, but you have to have that. And if you can't have that for the start of this class, that's okay, but you're going to need to reschedule because it's a pretty strict requirement. And there's no shame in rescheduling. Don't worry about it. Just call your AC, email your AC, do whatever you need to do, but switch to a different class until you can get that 3rd strobe, and it has to be at least 320 watts per second. You also need a whole bunch of different modification tools, and in the announcements, not right here at the beginning of class, but as we move along, I'll post links onto how to make your own modification tools, because sometimes as a student, once you've laid down all that money on your strobes, you don't have a lot of money left over for modification tools. That's okay, I can work with you. Sorry, I have to look over here because I have a list. So 3 strobes, power outage, yeah. So this class is really about building sets in the studio. A lot of people will get really intimidated when they hear building sets in the studio because they're thinking like building a beach set. Like the model looks like he or she is at the Bahamas and there's vast space in the background and the Titanic is floating. You know, that's not what we're talking about here. Building a set in the studio could be as simple as like a kitchen nook or a bathroom vanity, you know, just a believable space with context. Here, set really means location context. That's it. But my hands look huge when I do that. And like I said, these movies aren't high quality. And if that still sounds intimidating to you, don't freak out. The class is filled with little tricks and tips on how to use inexpensive materials that you probably have already lying around your home to make small, believable sets. This class is really about faking location. It's a very valuable skill to have in commercial photography. You'll have a big final project that we are going to spend 5 weeks planning, and that means that your final shot for your final project has to be perfect, immaculate, elaborate, because we're going to spend 5 weeks planning it. You're going to be building a believable set in the studio for this. You're going to be coming up with a concept. You're going to be coming up with wardrobe, props, talent, a human being. That'll be your subject for this. So, but we spend 5 weeks doing it. So you've got 5 weeks to get it together. And you'll be proposing. You will be beginning to propose that this week in the first week. And then last, I have a late policy I want to share with you because I think that this will help keep you in class. I like to act like a reasonable client in this class, and a reasonable client would do this for you. If you know that you can't get something in on time, and you contact the client prior to the deadline, and you tell the client, I'm not going to be able to meet the deadline. Here's when I can get that work to you. I'll have it by then, I swear. The client will usually say, okay, thanks for letting me know in advance. I'll look for it on that new specific date. That's my policy. If you're going to be late, email me, and really, email me. Don't post it in class. Email me before the deadline. And the deadline is like, what, 11:59 p.m. Mountain Standard Time of the due date. So before 11:59 p.m. Mountain Standard Time of the due date. And tell me you're going to be late, and specifically when you need your deadline extended to. I don't extend deadlines to infinity. I want a specific finite date at which I can expect your assignment in. I don't need an elaborate explanation of why. I just want to know that you're going to be late and when, in fact, you're going to have it in. That's it. But if you contact me after the deadline has already passed, it's a little bit more difficult. You're going to have to come up with documentation of mitigating circumstances, blah, blah, blah. So just email me even a second before 11:59 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on the deadline. let me know and tell me specifically when you'll have the work in. Right. Okay, so 3 strobes, all of them need to have at least a 320 watts per second output. You should have some modification tools. There's a list in the required materials that you can use to follow. You'll probably already have most of those. If you don't panic. We'll work with it. We're going to be building believable sets. There's only one on-location shoot for this entire class, and it's in week 1. The rest of it's all in the studio. You're going to be building everything. You're going to have a fairly elaborate final project that we'll be working on each week. You'll be proposing different aspects of the final project. So a lot of proposing in this class. But that final project will be in studio. You're going to be building a believable location with real context that looks like some place, even if it's a kitchen counter, that's fine. And you're going to be selling a product. You'll be making a marketing ad, basically, for a product at a believable location that you create in the studio. You will not be shooting on location. That's not what this class is about. If you can't get the equipment together, or you don't think you have time to be creating sets in the studio, it's okay to reschedule to a time when you think that you will be able to meet both of those requirements. There's no shame in it. Just contact your AC immediately. I hope you do stay. I teach a fantastic class, if I do say so myself. And I'll look forward to meeting you soon. Thank you. Of course, I didn't look into how to stop making the video when I found the new way to do it. It's probably that button there.